The biggest announcement of the night, obviously, is that Jordan Peterson
Whoa.
has now signed up with Daily Wire Plus.
Wow.
And you can see all sorts of Jordan Peterson stuff. I'm talking about like his entire archive, about every speech that he has ever made, essentially. That brand new podcast, brand new content, exclusive subscriber-only content, a brand new series called Dragons, Monsters, and Men, a 4-part series. It's on the website right now. Dragons, Monsters, and Men, about manliness and what it takes to be a man in today.
Yeah. Goddamn, bro, I can't wait to become a manly-ass, sweaty-ass, Jason some mimosa-ass man from that Jordan Peterson. Well, what's the thing called? Dungeons and Dragons and Men?
Dragons, Monsters, and Men.
Right before that, literally just hours before that, Jordan found out that he had been barred from Twitter. Now, why would Jordan Peterson be barred from Twitter?
Because he broke the terms of service?
After all, you're talking about one of the most popular authors and speakers and lecturers and psychologists on planet Earth. Jordan is not just famous in the United States, he's Canadian. He's famous internationally. He's famous in Canada, he's famous throughout Europe. He does a lecture tour that, frankly, would exhaust any other human being.
It still broke the rules.
And yet now, he has been barred from tweeting.
Yes.
What was his great sin? His great sin is that he tweeted out about Elliot Page, quote, "Remember when pride was a sin? And Ellen Page just had her breasts removed by a criminal physician."
Oh!
Now, he tweeted that out on June 22nd. It is now June 30th. So they waited for over a week to ban Jordan for that tweet.
I saw this story from old Jordy Peterstone. You know, he's doing this. Come on. And I read that tweet that got him, I don't know, suspended or whatever from Twitter. And I was like, oh boy, even for Jordy, this one's pretty rancid.
Even for a demented moron, opportunist scam artist like Jordy, this one's a little...
I mean, this poor old bastard is always in the midst of some tear-covered meltdown. Oh, no.
You have no idea. I see people everywhere.
It's like the front of the Bellagio right now. Here we go. Waterworks.
Especially young people, especially.
And it turns out that he signed some kind of deal with the Daily Wire where there is some paywall you got to pay for to watch him drone on about Christ knows what. I'm starting to get the feel that this was like a publicity thing. He was planning on quitting Twitter anyway. So he's like, I'll go out with a bang! So he played his old hit, the thing that made him famous, which is, I'm not doing trans. No! This is from some crap called the National Post. Jordan Peterson, suspended from Twitter, says it might as well be a ban. I won't apologize. Oh, ultimate badass. What an ultimate badass. If I can't be let back on because I won't apologize, I could care less, Jordan Peterson. So, yeah, this kind of stinks of like, I'm going to get a lot of engagement from this. And then old Benny Shapino puts his stupid Jordan Peterson's stupid little name in his video, and then he's like, oh, by the way, guys. And the losers are Jordan Peterson's, 12-year-old fans who might, God forbid, meet a trans person in their life. Probably not, but maybe. And instead of doing what people always do when they meet people, which, hi, what's your name? Oh, nice to meet you. It'll be, no! Dr. Jordan Peterson said...
Oh shit, guys.
Christ, guys, before I forget, I would like to welcome to the Drops, a new drop by the great podcast host Emma Vigeland.
And if you're not using institutions to expand people's rights and to protect people, they're worthless. They're garbage. Wipe your ass with them.
Whoa!
I don't care. And so, wipe your ass with them.
Hell yeah, Vig Drop.
If we are going to have a free exchange of ideas,
wipe your ass
the
with
limits
them.
of the Overton window, the limits of acceptable discourse, have to be rather broad. The left doesn't believe that.
What?
Because fundamentally, as Jordan observed last night on stage at the Ryman, the left doesn't believe in free speech. They believe that free speech, the principle, does not exist. Underneath that is a power dynamic. And the power dynamic suggests that if you're allowed to talk, then you will dominate. And so we have to shut you up. It's important that we shut you up.
Yes.
Dialogue is a lie. The only thing that really matters is the compulsory power of whatever institution is in charge.
Yes.
The only thing that really matters is the compulsory power of whatever institution is in charge.
Okay, so remember that. This is just a little bit later.
Maybe it's not Disney's job to sound off on whether kids should be indoctrinated with radical gender theory in kindergarten in Florida. Maybe that's not Disney's job. Maybe it's not the job of Major League Baseball to sound off on voter ID laws in Georgia.
So he's droning on and on about how, Disney is forcing its views on me. Oh, Netflix is forcing its trans views on me. And he gets to this a little bit later. This is beautiful. The only thing I could think of to do with this is
wipe your ass with them.
Jesus, Emma.
But all of this is part and parcel of an increasing leftist belief that they can cram down whatever they want on everybody else.
Whoa.
How else do you end up with a major American political party endorsing the idea of transing the kids?
That they can cram down whatever they want on everybody else.
Ben Shapiro, I mean, he's obviously a crazy person, but he's fully left reality at this point. He's like,
stop shoving your views on me. I saw a cartoon I didn't like, and they're shoving their views on me.
Bit of a weird time for this kind of crap, for this kind of a statement. This is from a Gallup poll from just a couple days ago. Steady 58% of Americans do not want Roe versus Wade overturned. Okay, remember, these people are shoving their views on everybody else. 35% want Roe v. Wade overturned. 58% do not. That seems like a minority shoving its views on everybody else. And there's only one thing to do with that kind of decision.
Wipe your ass with them.
Also, another interesting thing that Gallup pointed out is that it's been this way since 1989. By far, the majority of people did not want this overturned since 1989.
Wipe your ass with them.
This surprised me too. From the Dallas Morning News, most Texans were.
That's where I live. Hey, Emma, what do you think of Texans?
Wipe your ass with them.
Hey, that's my state.
You know, I do have one question to ask Emma Vigeland. It's totally unrelated. What do you think that guy's going to do with that R2-D2?
Wipe your ass with them.
Emma, come on. Most Texans do not want Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, new poll shows. And not only that, this is also pure insanity from this guy, Ben Shapiro, obviously, because now all these other states, Colorado, whatever, California, now these states are going to be forced to provide health care for your state citizens. And you know what we're going to do with this? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do this. Just let this one go. Just let it go, man. It's not worth it. And you know what they're going to do with those out-of-state citizens?
Wipe your ass with them.
The other thing that makes that funny is whack jobs like Ben Shapiro and probably the Supreme Court, who knows. There's probably a pretty good chance they're going to start pushing for some kind of federal abortion ban. Honestly, if they don't, this whole thing kind of doesn't make any sense. But it's more about this. So who knows? And that one, it's interesting, even most Republicans oppose that. 76% of respondents to this poll oppose a federal law that would make abortion illegal, including 76% of Democrats and 52% of Republicans. That one really doesn't make sense because
that's the only way you're going to stop the killing of these babies.
Emma, what do you think we should do with those babies? No, I'm not. We're not doing that one.
We need to save those babies.
Okay, well, yeah, the only way you're going to do that is you're going to have to do a federal law.
No, that's a little too much. Okay.
You all right?
Nope.
Hey, this sort of radicalism is completely disconnected from the American public, but it's not going to stop people from attempting to implement it.
Yeah.
For example, Elizabeth Warren. The measures that Democrats are talking about taking here are truly amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got Elizabeth Warren out there saying that what we actually should do is we should turn national parks into abortion land.
Whoa.
Yellowstone will now be abortion land. Here is Elizabeth Warren. Amazing stuff.
Amazing. I can't believe it.
I also think at this moment, the federal government needs to be exploring what they can do to make federal lands available to help ensure access to abortion.
On federal land. So every time you go into a national park, maybe you just go into the federal building in your local city. There should be an abortion clinic in there, funded by your taxpayer dollars, according to Elizabeth Warren.
No.
I read a little bit about this, the federal parks abortion thing, and I'm a moron. That's A, okay? But what I read about it, it seems a little bit ambiguous. If it works, that'd be awesome. But this whole thing would be made kind of very funny if the effect that actually overturning Roe v. Wade had is that it made abortion clinics more beautiful. Oh, I did this. I gotta go get an abortion. And the abortion clinic is in a forest. It looks like one of those Airbnb pictures that you see where it's like a log cabin where one wall is entire glass and it's overlooking like a lake. That would be great too, because those people, the meemaws and peepaws who go and they protest out front of the abortion clinics, they'd be like, you're killing a baby. And then they kind of see the lake. They're like, I'm going to go for a swim, actually. Hey, there's ducks over there. Let's feed them. What were we yelling about? I can't remember. Let's go.
Ultra-crepidarianism, people getting outside their area of expertise. Yeah. Stephen Colbert doing political talk.
Whoa.
It's like watching a monkey try to screw a basketball.
Jesus.
It's awkward and weird, and he's not good at it. And like,
and he's not good at it.
When I see a monkey try to a basketball, I want him to be good at it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Ben, you're still on camera.
Oh, what?
Yuck, Ben. You're a little disgusting little pervert, dude. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, little weird pervert? Okay, this is my favorite kind of Ben Shapiro-ism. And I guess he's having a hard time with Wanda Sykes here. So here we go.
What I want. More Wanda Sykes.
Okay.
Rule. And I mean, it's like these judges that just... They basically lied when they were, during their confirmation hearings, right?
Right, and then, no. But it's not just people like Wanda Sykes.
That's it? That's the reply? I mean, those judges definitely did. Some of them outright were, misleading. The other ones just did some lawyer crap with those questions about Roe v. Wade when they were being interviewed for the job. But that's a great response. But I love that. He plays that clip and he's like,
how about no? How about no? Anyway, here's the next thing.
I mean, just besides being a crazy bastard, also an incredibly lazy bastard. As much as I've watched this show is shockingly lazy. So is Tucker Carlson's show. A lot of the time you'll hear in the background of Tucker Carlson's show, you hear like, and he'll just be like, we're not redoing it. Okay, so remember, we now have, Christian fascist minority rule in this country. What's Ben Shapiro talking about?
So, here's Elmo talking to his dad. By the way, I did not know that Elmo's dad apparently has a soul patch and really likes listening to Green Day or something. I don't know what Elmo's dad's story is, but he...
Hell yeah, brother. Well, I just hope to God he doesn't do an Elmo impression.
I mean, no, it isn't. You literally just said that you should just go get your kids vaxxed. Elmo's like, oh, Daddy, look, I have a Band-Aid and just like you. But am I hurt? Oh, America! Oh,
no. I thought maybe there's something wrong with Ben Shapiro's brain or something like that. Like maybe he got hit in the head or so there's just something wrong with him. Or maybe he's an idiot. But I have seen debates with him where he'll actually engage with like real policy stuff. And he'll try to make real arguments that seem coherent. So when he does stuff like what he's doing in this episode, this clip, it's just like, oh yeah, this guy's just a total fraudster. Just a straight up, just scamming as much money as he can off of these people. He said this in a very few videos. He probably got his ass slapped for these from his audience. But he was like, the vaccine is a miracle. Of course I'm getting it. But then he'll still do anti-vax segments. And the way he, squares that circle or whatever is he's like, it's bad. And then it's like, well, you said it was good. And he's like, yep. And it's like, so it's bad and good? Yep. Here's another cartoon he's upset about.
Well, these are the tampons I usually use.
Thank you. What do you do with those?
Wipe your ass with them.
I don't think that's right, Emma.
Prefer pads. They're more comfortable for me.
Thank you. I always get the ones with wings. Thank you.
Get them scented and bleach-free if you can.
Thank you. Yo, my daughter loves these. Thank you.
These might be easier if it's her first period. These are really environmentally friendly.
Well, the simple fact of the matter is that our betters in children's media have decided that they wish their values to be placed before the eyes of your children. And it's...
Oh, yeah. I wonder what that feels like. Having a small minority of people force their views on you. Thank God it can't get any worse than cartoons.
One of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it. So a man who's capable of aggression, but has it under control, is a way more useful man than one who cannot do that. And
welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Jordan Peterson. Take 58. Welcome to Take 473. You have to be a monster to totally badass. Take 731. You have to find the monster. I don't know how you reach dudes who fall for this. let's clip this and send it to your, little brother or little cousin who's like, I like Jordan Peterson. The best thing you could do right now is not watch that. Like, that will improve your life immediately. He is a dork. The more you watch it, you will become more of a socially incapable dork. All right? Step 1, stop watching some old Canadian kook fleece you for money. That'll be step 1. So this is the, Ben Shapiro's website. This is how many we got? 20,000 views. Ooh. This comes out right around the time that Jordan Peterson gets kicked off of Twitter, which he said, I'm leaving anyway. Oh, weird coincidence. Weird little coincidence. I'm standing up for my values. Also, there's a financial incentive. Oh, yeah, guys.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So, guys, today we're going to be looking at one of our favorite guys, one of our favorite online comedians. That's right, guys, the Duke of Drivel, the Sultan of Snooze, the master of meandering crap, Jordan T. What's his name? Jordan T. Peterson.
I figured out a way to go to a university and have it work.
Okay.
And this is really quite funny. I figured this out.
I'll be the judge of that, whether or not it's funny. Okay? All right, Jordy, let's go.
5 years ago. So imagine I'm invited to a university and I'm worried that there's going to be protests. And I worry because sometimes there are murderous people at those protests. It's no joke. And people get in my face and they threaten me, and physically as well as psychologically. And I'm not afraid of that, but it makes me so angry that I'm afraid of my own anger in situations like that. I joke with my security. Situations like that. I joke with my security people that half of the reason they're there is to stop me from attacking other people. And I mean that, it's a joke, but it's also not a joke.
Badass, dude. Oh, badass.
It's a joke, but it's also not a joke.
I feel a little bit sorry for him. There's clearly he's having a hard time. Just last week, I think I was making fun of a Jordan Peterson video because, I was squeezing more content out of another hilarious Jordan Peterson video.
Jordan T. Peterson.
And then I did a joke making fun of him where I was like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. And then you watch another video and he literally, basically says that. I have to have security guards to keep me from beating everyone up.
Anyways, I figured out very early that if I had a meeting at a university at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd never have a protester in sight. Because none of them had the bloody discipline to stick to their principles with enough, what would you say, assiduousness, so that they would sacrifice their late night drinking session the night before so they wouldn't be too hungover and bleary-eyed to come out and confront the evil
The whole video's like this, basically. You're right, Jordy. Who you mad at, buddy? These people, all they do is they drink. They can't even wake up early. And if they did, I would karate chop them. Like I was saying earlier, remember? When I said that I would fight everybody. Remember? Okay, so all that is to lead up to what I consider what we're about to see. Okay, what you're about to watch now, the greatest moment in advertising history. Okay, I hope you're ready. I hope you're strapped in. Okay, hope you got your little diapers on because you're gonna need them for this because this is pretty great. Here we go. Here it is.
So something that's blackly comical in the deepest possible sense. And the fact that these idiot professors on these left-wing campuses take the messianic delusions of these overgrown adolescents with some degree of seriousness, overlay that with compassion, and then invite them to become useless activists and thereby fulfill the moral demands that their own conscience puts on them is an unbelievably deep indication of the absolute moral bankruptcy of the modern university.
Getting a good night's sleep is one of the most important things you can do for your health. That's why Helix Sleep provides tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences.
That
if you're a side
is,
sleeper, they have models with memory foam layers for optimal pressure relief.
Lead
Stomach
into
and
an
back
ad
sleeper
I've ever
models
seen.
have a
I mean, this guy never fails to do something that's inadvertently the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's like, these kids! I'm an old man and I'm mad at college kids. I'm an old right-wing conservative Canadian. College kids are the biggest problem in the world. God damn you, I'm so pissed off. Hey, are you having trouble sleeping? Hey, are you all worked up into a panic and you can't sleep? Hey, maybe Helix Sleep can help your ass. Calm down. Okay, guys, just a few quick notes here. My enemies, I hate them.
I hate my enemies and I'm pissed off.
People are after me, many of them, and I will physically fight them, frankly. I'll give them one of these. Hi!
Hi!
I'm alone in a room, talking to a camera. I'm furious with anger right now. I'm boiling. I'm just, man, I'm disgusted and I'm pissed, and it's gonna get bad.
BetterHelp, affordable private therapy. Talk with a licensed professional therapist online for depression, stress, anxiety, yelling at cameras, getting all upset for no reason.
So anyway, this whole video, you know, it's all the same crap. We're gonna watch two videos, all right, two hilarious videos from this guy where he's doing this. And a little bit of this.
Bye-bye.
And, you know, he's doing his same old crap, which is to just normalize or intellectualize being a mean old bastard or whatever it is he does. And he does this interview, this long, like 2-hour interview with, it's probably one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. I'm so pissed off and angry at trans people on Twitter, and I'm all pissed even though I'm a millionaire, I'm pissed off.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm very pleased today to be talking with Mr. Christopher Rufo, who's emerged as a national and international class troublemaker, I would say, and policy.
That's kind of funny right there. We'll come back to this, but that's kind of funny right there. He emerged. Oh, where from? Where from? Can we get a little more information on that emergence? Anyway.
Advisor on the culture war front, especially in relationship to issues of public education and critical race theory, whatever that means, and both philosophically and politically. That's what we're going to delve into today.
Okay.
Christopher is a senior fellow and director of the Initiative on Critical Race Theory at the Manhattan Institute.
Okay. So a far-right lunatic think tank. Okay. Getting a lot of diversity of opinion on the Jordy Peterson program. Yeah, hey, come on my program as long as you're not left of, you know, Donald Rumsfeld. You could come on my crap.
Coordinated, inauthentic behavior.
That's what it is. Admit it, Jordy.
Then I shifted to looking at critical race theory implemented as a pedagogical approach in K through 12 schools.
Wow. A pedagogical approach of K through 12 where critical race theory has never and will never be taught. Wow, bro. That's amazing.
Take a doo-doo pie.
That's amazing, bro.
Looking at K through 12 schools, government agencies, and even the Fortune 100 companies.
Right.
And so what I think I've been able to do that's been able to galvanize attention is take these issues, establish a factual basis, saying this is what's happening, these are the documents, and then describing the origins, whether it's critical race theory or queer theory, in a way that the average person, a parent in a public school district, for example, can start to then push back. And that's really been my goal. I'm kind of an accidental activist.
Yeah, Jordy, I really just saw it as my mission, you know, to get vulnerable parents out there living in the middle of nowhere, confused, upset, and distracted, so they could go shout at a school board and then maybe go viral on YouTube. They'll do this. It's a very deep and meaningful mission, as you can see the way I'm pointing like this, bro. So this guy's named Christopher Rufo. He's been, you know, people have been talking about him because of this, and there's been a couple good articles written about him. But he's basically his whole documented career, as far as I could find, is he's worked for conservative think tanks, including one that was trying to get schools to teach creationism. And then he went on to work for these giant, you know, millions of dollars conservative think tanks that want to get rid of public schools. So again, if you're out there and you have no moral compass and you have no self-respect, there is a job opportunity for you in the world of saying stupid shit for lots of money. There's a couple really good articles about this guy, and one really good one is in Jacobin. And here's a quote. The Kochback parents' rights movement aims to make that trust impossible. By pitting parents against schools, you see, this has been kind of weird to watch because it's totally true. Does seem like there's a little bit of a campaign to be like, schools are filled with perverts. First of all, the teachers are all perverts. Second of all, the libraries are just I call them halls of porno. A school library, also known as a hall of porno. All that kind of crap seems a little astroturfed. By pitting parents against schools, libertarian billionaires and Republican strategists intend to motivate voters in the short term and fully privatize K-12 education in the long term. As Christopher Rufo, the self-styled architect and guest of Jordan P. Peterson of the so-called War on Critical Race Theory, has argued, this is what this guy Christopher Rufo says, to create universal school choice, i.e. privatization, you really need to operate from a premise of universal school distrust. Whoa, geez, bro. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. So this is what we got in this amazing, beautiful video here. This amazing artifact here is you have Jordan Peterson, a guy who's now paid millions of dollars by the Daily Wire, which is owned by these lunatic right-wing billionaires. And then you have this guy who works for the Manhattan Institute, which is the same kind of people. And they're just kind of repeating talking points at each other. It's like that video of an AI talking to another AI.
Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. You?
I'm okay.
That's good.
Are you good?
Yes, I am good. I just said I was.
No, you didn't. I said I was.
Coordinated, inauthentic behavior.
And we want to have a kind of collectivist and racially egalitarian society in which the scales are balanced based on group identity.
What?
But what they found and discovered is that the, throwing hand grenades at the police in Oakland, California is not going to overturn an advanced industrial society like the United States. And of course, these are people who are embedded in the most elite institutions in the United States, places most notably like Harvard Law School.
Oh, wow.
And so, a Harvard Law School student and then professor is unlikely to be winning in that way. So they said, what do we have? Well, we have access to elite institutions.
Oh, wow.
We have a way of playing institutional politics that we learned from Derek Bell.
Yeah.
You can essentially bully, shame, and pressure people using all of those tactics of identity politics to really get what you want.
Right.
So why don't we just do that?
But what they found and discovered...
Oh, wow, great. Okay, so we've never really talked about this on this channel, but it's crucial to the Jordan Peterson, crap.
Hi.
Like Jordan Peterson has been talking, I forgot about this, but Jordan Peterson has been talking about this forever, and it should have instantly pinned him as a, well, it did, but everybody should have instantly been able to spot this guy as just a complete quack and kook.
Well, yes, the cultural Marxism, it's something that you have spoken about, and it's something many people who are consider themselves conservatives or centre-right warn about.
So the basic idea here is that right-wing ideas, right-wing policy ideas, like that you should have basically no rights as a, if you're an employee, businesses should be able to trick you in any way they want, charge crazy interest rates, pollute as much as possible, big companies and all this. There should be no public health care, no public schools and all this. These ideas are so popular. People love these ideas so much. People love these right-wing ideas so much that a group of shadowy academics had to put into the system. They had to put into these elites. They had to put out there into culture ideas that people hate. Left-wing ideas that people hate. That it just so happens when you poll people, they all support. Like if you look at any list of policy proposals that are considered like far left crazy, like everyone supports them. Legalization of weed, workers having representation on corporate boards like union stuff, all kinds of regulations on businesses like credit card companies, public health care, of course, single-payer health care. Green New Deal type thing is very popular. And so this is the brilliant idea of cultural Marxism, that these people got into the positions of colleges. They got in there and they put these ideas. They put these ideas, bro. It's not that people are just naturally repelled by like bigotry and sexism and all kind of goose-stepping crap and naturally attracted to like, hey, yeah, having healthcare would be nice. Not being polluted and fooled by giant companies would be nice. No. There's a guy, bro. He's a little guy and he came up with this and now you believe it. There's a way more interesting history to the idea of cultural Marxism, and actually the Wikipedia on it is pretty good. And its origins are in anti-Semitism and all this stuff, of course. But this is one of the most interesting parts about this little story. There was a guy named Michael Minicino. Michael Minicino, another disgrace to Italians. You know what I mean? Oh! The essay New Dark Age, The Frankfurt School and Political Correctness by Michael Minicino was the starting point for the contemporary conspiracy in the United States of cultural Marxism. Minicino argued that late 20th century America had become a new dark age as a result of the abandonment of Judeo-Christian and Renaissance ideals. Oh my God, that doesn't sound familiar at all. Judeo-Christian and Renaissance ideals, which he claimed had been replaced in modern art with a tyranny of ugliness. Oh God, we never hear that from these fools either. And he goes on and on about the Frankfurt School, the shadowy people who are doing this crap, bro. Minicino's interest in the subject derived from his involvement in the LaRouche movement. We could do a whole week of episodes just on that, so pretty interesting. Lyndon LaRouche began developing conspiracy theories regarding the Frankfurt School in 1974. So really, this kind of stuff has been going on since the 70s. This is where it gets really interesting, though. This guy, Minicino, who wrote that article in the 1990s, after the 2011 Norway attacks, Minicino repudiated his own essay. Oh, wow, the thing that these guys are basically repeating exactly. He repudiated, he said stupid. Writing, quote, I still like to think that some of my research was validly conducted and useful. However, I see very clearly that the whole enterprise, and especially the conclusions, was hopefully deformed by my self-censorship and the desire to in some way support Mr. LaRouche's crack-brained worldview. So here we go. The thing that these guys are basically repeating, here's why that guy who basically came up with the modern version of it, here's why he was like, nah. This is one of the main reasons why he's like, nah, it's bad. It's bad. On July 22nd, 2011, Anders Breivik murdered 77 people in the 2011 Norway attacks. About 90 minutes before enacting the violence, Breivik emailed 1,003 people his manifesto. Oh, God, could you imagine getting that? Be like, no thanks. You just never opened? No, thank you. He emails 103. He emails 1,003 people this manifesto, which is called 2083, a European Declaration of Independence, and a copy of Political Correctness: A Short History of an Ideology. Cultural Marxism was the primary subject of Breivik's manifesto. This guy who did like a mass murder, mass shooting. So, in other words, what Jordy and I would not say this, but many say this, just dull-faced, like just, I don't, and I want to say that because people should stop saying that. That's mean. That this guy just looks like every dumb person's face morphed into one face. That's completely unacceptable. And I'm here, part of my reason here on YouTube and purpose and mission statement here on YouTube is to end that kind of stuff, bro. But what they're saying is like on its face doesn't make any sense because people don't naturally agree with this stuff that they like. And then you don't need a shadowy group of people to support left-wing policies and all this stuff. So there's that. And then the next level is what they're saying has a long history of just creeps. Long history of creeps and lunatics and not goose steppers and all this crap.
Or whether it's the K-12 school system or government agencies.
Okay.
The critical theories, critical race theory, critical gender theory, queer theory, whatever you want to call them, are a creature of the state. They're a creature of the bureaucracy. They cannot survive without public subsidy, which means they cannot survive without the continued support of legislators at the state level and at the...
Exactly, man. Exactly. There's something very scary going on in schools that we can't really define and you can't really define. They're very scary. And it's gay. They're turning everyone gay at the schools. So we have to end it. We have to end it, bro. It's the only solution. We have to end it and privatize everything. Quick note. The people who pay me, that's what they want. But okay, but what was I just saying? Yeah, we gotta end it, bro. We gotta end it. No more public schools. No more public schools, bro. We gotta go back to olden times. We gotta go back to the olden times of no schools. Maybe kids just go right to work in the factory. That'd be nice, you know? Some of those kids, you see those old pictures of like factory kids. It's kind of funny. A kid smoking a cigarette. That's funny. Come on, guys. This is a place where we can be honest. A little factory kid from the mid-1800s. He's dirty. He's been working in some soot factory all day. And he's having himself a cigarette. He's 8. He's funny. Can we... So there's been a lot written, and some really good articles and some little investigations about why do these kooks, why are they pushing so hard to destroy public schools? Like, why is that such a thing? And one of the best little summaries here is from a Daily Beast article. What is this piece of crap called? Betsy DeVos and the GOP's plan to destroy public schools. They're talking about Milton Friedman, who was big on this kind of stuff. Before he was a Nobel Prize winner, Friedman began advocating, quote, educational freedom in 1955 as a racially neutral way to privatize schools and help racists get vouchers from the government to avoid integration. Friedman proposed that the best strategy for parents to control their children's education was to abolish the public school system and eliminate all the taxes that pay for it. I like that because you see all of it in like one paragraph. The real aim is we don't want to pay taxes for that. I don't want to pay taxes for any kind of public anything, I just want... But it's like a lot of things in American politics where it's like, how do I get what I want? Oh, I'll team up with racist lunatics. So racist lunatics don't like public education because there's black people in it. Since the 50s, they believe that. So we team up, these two beautiful forces. I don't want to pay taxes. I don't like black people. It teams up for great, that's the basis of a healthy relationship, You meet someone on Tinder, you're like, hey, do you hate a certain group of people? And yes. You're having a chicken wing or whatever, yes. And then the other person's like, are you a lunatic that's just totally, you're just totally driven by maximizing your profits, even if it destroys society? Yeah. Okay, then let's be boyfriend, girlfriend. The other thing I was thinking while watching it, and I watched this whole thing, it's like 2 hours of this crap. The other thing I was thinking, I was like, man, it's crazy because Jordan is like a Jordy Peterman, this guy.
Hi.
He engages in
coordinated, inauthentic behavior.
Like he's a multi-million. This guy's like, he could just do whatever he wants. And he chooses to listen to, honestly, one of the boringest people ever. Like this guy, Christopher Rufo. I mean, he's doing this bizarre thing. He's a propagandist, a paid right-wing propagandist. You would think it would at least be like, whoa, that's weird. He's just like a snooze. I mean, if you're having trouble sleeping, put this moron on and listen to it. And I think part of the reason that Jordy does this is, first of all, I mean, I guess he just can never have enough. He's got to pay for Michaela's all-meat diet or whatever. But I also think that part of it is if he talks to anyone outside of this bubble, it always goes disastrously for him.
The criminal physician.
And Ellen Page just had her breasts cut off by a criminal physician.
Criminal physician, exactly. So my question is the physician really criminal? If you agree that adults can decide to transition, then why would the physician be criminal? Don't adults have that right if they want to transition?
Hi.
But it's really crazy to me that this still exists. Like this kind of old-timey propaganda that they done a little bit of calculation and they're like, yeah, we can peel off, a good whatever percent of people, kind of vulnerable parents, maybe not very much education. We could kind of put this out there.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I want to read a piece that I recently wrote.
Okay.
And I write these so that I can think them through very carefully, by the way,
Great.
instead of just reading them or spontaneously uttering them.
We don't need the whole behind
Sometimes
the scenes.
that works.
We don't need the whole backstory, bro. Just get into it.
Okay, but of all the Jordy videos that he puts out, these are my favorite. This is the man yelling at a cloud format. Okay, it really is. Where he just talks to this, it's very well produced. We got a broadcast level, Netflix level Hulu level camera and production and all this crap. And he sits alone in a room full of firewood and just goes off. Here's my problem. I got a lot of problems, and I'm going to yell at it, and I'm going to get mad about it alone, in a room alone.
Now, 2-year-olds are not very dangerous.
Okay.
Being small, physically unprepossessing, and soft. So, even when enraged, cannot pose much danger either to themselves or others.
All right.
And they are certainly capable of rage.
And they do
There is
this.
little behavior more dramatic than a full-fledged 2-year-old temper tantrum.
Right.
Arms akimbo, prostrate on the ground, fists and legs pumping and pounding.
So this video might be better, and it is at least as interesting as the woke moralist, kiss my balls, low woke moralist, or whatever he was saying. Kiss my
left nut.
Whatever he was going on in that other video. This one might be equally as interesting because he goes on and it's a 30. Jesus, I wasted 30 minutes that I can't get back of my life on this. It's a 30-minute video where he's going on and on for like 20 minutes about little kids, 2-year-olds. They just do this. They do this in their diaper, you know. They're doing this. You know, 2-year-olds are bad. They can't function with other kids, you know, and they're narcissistic, and their identity is so important to them or something. And you're like, I kind of know where this is going. But you're hoping to God that there'll be like a more that there'll be a deeper point or something. You know, because where you imagine he's going is everyone who's mean to me is like those 2-year-olds. And you're like, it can't be that dumb. This is 21 minutes in. 21 minutes to get to the punchline. Here we go.
And yet our society is increasingly predicated upon the insistence that such egocentric definition of identity must be accepted at face value, with all exceptions to that acceptance punishable by law. There is nothing good about this for anyone.
Oh, boy.
The adolescents who insist that their identity be subjectively defined and who simultaneously toy with a fluid self-description, even at the level of basic sex, to say nothing of gender or sexual attraction, appear fixated at the 2-year-old level of development. They are ensconced.
So that's pretty much it. The people who are mean to me are like 2-year-olds. The people who are mean to me wear diapers, actually. You know, somebody's got to tell Jordy, you know, like, look, are there college students who are a little bit, you know, they're a little annoying or they're obnoxious or whatever? Yes, of course, okay? Are they going to be mean to you? You're a conservative professor and they're mean to you? Yes, okay? You signed up for it, you ding dong. But like he's saying, these people are like 2-year-olds. These people are like babies. They can't be integrated into society because of the fact that they're just so wrapped up in their own identity. You know, they want the whole world to bend to their identity like a 2-year-old. Most of the people I know are nothing like that. But let's say there are like some agreed upon rules on, say, a social media platform, for example, that everybody kind of agrees to. And they're also the social norms in society, like not doing bigotry and stuff like that. And you're like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to post it. Because it's part of your identity, right? So is this video into the mirror or what's up, bro? Oh, by the way, 500,000 views in 10 days? 500,000 views in 10 days on this video. The man screaming at the cloud format, very popular for Jordy P. So he got suspended from Twitter because Twitter was like, hey, that violates our policy. You know, take down that tweet. So he actually did end up taking down that Elliot Page tweet where he's like, Elliot Page sucks or whatever. Elliot Page can kiss my ass or whatever he was saying. He takes that down. First he said he would die before... First he said he would die before he took down that tweet. Then he took down the tweet. And then he reposted a screenshot of the tweet. He's like, look, I'm still violating this crap. So, I mean, you gotta love that. He's saying, like, some people just can't fit into society because they're so attached to their identity that they can't compromise with society. They can't integrate. And here's like a literal example of someone not doing that. There's some rules here. You can't like harass transgender people. And here he's naming a specific transgender person. Being like, you suck! You kiss my ass! And they're like, you can't do that, buddy. Just take it down. He's like, no! I'll die! It's literally what he's talking about. It's got to be a big part of his audience really likes. They're like, he makes people upset. He makes people upset. He says nonsense. He says some macaroni brain crap, and people are like, what? I like that. They get so pissed. Okay, I get that. You know, that's just old school trolling, and that's fine. But I hope to God these people aren't sitting through 21 minutes of just, oh, what, Jordy? What? He's like, and then I went to get a sandwich when I was in school. I hope to own their enemies or whatever. They're not sitting through all this insufferable crap. Good God. Ooh. Oh my God, guys, I've been hiding out
because we are at the peak
of what I call the spooky times. Hellraisers, Freddy's. Generally speaking, scary ghosts are scary.
But guys, today I want to move past all that bull
and talk about one of our favorite whack jobs.
One of our favorite nuts.
He's got a large following. He gets a bazillion views on all his videos and all this crap. That's right. Where is he? This guy.
Hi. I could literally say anti-Semitic shit.
What in the world is the matter with you? Here we go.
Why must you do the bad things that you do?
Okay.
We are just working to clean up your mess.
Uber cars.
We are just striving to do what is best. That's in the Bible.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Toilet. I could say anti-Semitic things.
Yeah, I try to check in on Jordy Peterson for this channel every once in a while, and most of the time, 90% of the time, he's saying the exact same crap over and over again, just repeating right-wing talking points. But then every once in a while, I think he's like, I need to actually express myself.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'd like to tell you very briefly about my new book.
Hi.
It's called An ABC of Childhood Tragedy.
Okay.
It's the book itself, and the project is an attempt to investigate the nexus, let's say, of beauty and tragedy and humor, a strange triad. And maybe I'll read you a couple of the...
That's a bit broad, okay?
Oh.
Alphabet poems, so you get some sense of what you're in for if you dare to buy the book.
Okay.
It's pretty rough, so be warned. A. Adela. An abusive sprat was fond of teasing little brats. They finally jumped her one fine day.
Okay.
And now Adela's locked away. Whew. D. This is a very rough one. Dick was a damaged little boy whose prancing father made him coy. When he ended up in jail, all competed for his tail. F.
Okay. Okay. All right, Jordy?
Hi. Hi.
Well, on this goddamn channel, we respect all artistic endeavor, but I would say, in this case, I really wanted to give Jordan Peterson the benefit of the doubt on this one. Like, okay, he created a poetry book. Really gave him a chance, but totally honest review. It's like if Neil Gaiman got hit in the head, okay? It's like if Neil Gaiman were walking through wherever he lives, Ireland or whatever goddamn castle Neil Gaiman lives, and he's like, it's time to put out the torch, to go to sleep. And a brick comes out of the castle and hits him in the head. This is where we end up, I think.
Say the least. And so if you're interested in such things, if you like The Nightmare Before Christmas, if you like Edward Gorey and his Victorian catastrophes.
I don't know if that's quite... Yeah, okay, Jordy. So if you read these poems, and he reads some, you heard some of them, and you can look into them. When he compares this to Nightmare Before Christmas, I think the problem is that no one, when they were watching Nightmare Before Christmas, was, hey, should we get a mental health professional to check on Tim Burton? We're almost in like Henry Darger territory here. If you don't know who that is, look him up. Henry Darger. But the difference, though, is that Henry Darger like accidentally made some amazing paintings that don't look like anything else, you know, sort of by accident. So Jordan Peterson has the like, Jordan Peterson has the is this guy okay side of Henry Darger, but not, but the fruits of that are not the sweetest. Sorry.
This winter,
Jesus. Okay, hi.
Tens of millions of British citizens, including children, will be tipped or dumped into energy poverty severe enough to risk permanent damage to their health.
All right.
Cold, damp houses provide the perfect breeding ground for mold, but without a word about why this crisis has emerged. Because the woke moralizers of the environmental movement helped to create it.
Whoa! No.
The narcissists of compassion.
Let's see that amazing editing again. Hold on.
Create it. The narcissists of compassion, callow, self-aggrandizing, incompetent politicians, their celebrity lackeys, Machiavellian journalists, have insisted ever more loudly over the last 5 decades that no cost was and is too great for others to bear in the pursuit of blind service to the planet.
The planet, in quotes. I love it, Jordy. So this video, starring the very sane, not at all crazy, not at all has completely lost his mind to the point of no return, Jordy Peterson, sounds like this.
Hi.
And like this.
I could literally say anti-Semitic shit.
This video is called Wicked... This video is called Wicked Globalists Are Causing Starvation and Poverty Under the Guise of Environmentalism.
Wow, Jordy,
that's amazing. That's great. Yeah, so the theme of this video is pretty interesting. It's that Europe is in an energy crisis because of woke. And there's 2 things you could do to learn more about that, which is 1, you could read literally anything about the energy situation in Europe. I mean, literally anything. Or you could just ask yourself, does that sound like it makes sense? Like some woke college students were like, hey, the government, stop fossil fuels right now. And they were like, yes, chef, we'll stop. And they stopped. And now there's problems. Does that seem...
The extended plan involves curtailing the Christmas lighting that constitutes part of the celebration in the midst of the winter darkness in many locations where they generally shine.
Wow, okay.
Nothing, either beautiful or pleasing, is acceptable in the least to the Grinches, and the Grinch was in fact green when confronted by the crisis they created.
Good job.
Remember.
Good, that's true, Jordy. The Grinch was green. Never thought of it that way. I never looked at it that way, Jordy. There's one thing I would like to add to that.
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah, all right. So our good friend the Jordarino has been lately getting really... He's always done kind of climate skepticism stuff, and a college student yelled at me about this, so I'm going to form my views just to... whatever's the opposite of that mostly seemed to be the vibe. But lately, weird, very odd. But lately, he's been going really hard, not just with climate misinformation and climate denial sort of stuff, but very, very pro-fossil fuels, very, very pro-fracking.
Why would they demonize the exceptionally clean natural gas whose fracking-enabled production?
What's that? An article from Vice just a couple months ago? How fracking billionaires Ben Shapiro...
Bed made of money.
How fracking billionaires Ben Shapiro and PragerU built a climate crisis denial empire. Wow, that seems interesting. It's kind of interesting, but Jordan Peterson, PragerU, and Daily Wire are all like one thing now. If you look on the back end of the Daily Wire, what is it called? Daily Wire Disney Plus or whatever they call it. Daily Wire Flicks or whatever they're calling it. If you look in the back end, all Jordan Peterson's crap is back there now. And this article is, oh boy. Like I thought I kind of knew this backstory of Daily Wire. Oh boy.
Oh, brother.
Bed made of money.
It really reveals Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and PragerU to be maybe the greatest con artist of our era. So this Vice story from just a couple months ago is about the people who fund all these guys. They're called the Wilks brothers, and they're fracking billionaires. And check this out. When the Wilks brothers started donating to PragerU, it had nowhere near the reach or influence it does now. Oh, wow. Yeah, it seems like having millions of money. Seems like having millions and millions of money really helps get things rolling. Tax forms from 2013 showed that Ferris Wilks' 13 Foundation approved for future payment an additional $6.25 million to PragerU. Wow, bro. Most of the seed money for PragerU came from these Wilks brothers, the Los Angeles Times later reported. Wow. So these Wilks brothers, they made billions of dollars from fracking. They got in on the fracking crap early, doing this with oil early, and became billionaires really quick, and they started dumping the money into all kinds of stuff, right-wing religious stuff, because they are crazy. They've supported groups such as Life Dynamics, Inc., an anti-abortion activist organization, and Focus on the Family. Focus on the Family. Focus on the Family, a show whose tagline is,
generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
They just want to spread awareness about that. One of the most prominent social conservative evangelical groups in the country, which has been accused of promoting conversion therapy for LGBTQ people. The beginning of this Vice article is pretty great. Check this out. It was the height of summer, and Pastor Ferris Wilks, so one of these lunatics is a pastor, a quote-unquote pastor, was warning that if we didn't all stop sinning, God was going to scorch the earth and melt the polar ice caps. Oh, wow, okay, great, bro. These are the polar ice caps. That's in the Bible. We're going to reap what we have sown, and what we have sown has not been good, Wilks explained to his self-assured Texas troll. Think of all the murder that has happened in this country, all the babies that have been murdered, sexual perversion of all kinds. Oh, this guy sounds great, bro. Yeah, these brothers seem really cool. You know what I want to do?
Wipe your ass with them.
And you're probably like, wow, this guy seems like a nut. It gets worse, bro. Wilks told the congregation in the small Texas town of Rising Star. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. No. I could do that because I live in Texas. That the spike in global temperatures could be related to these sinful excesses. Ooh, okay, brother. Maybe he said, us, quote, getting a little scorched here was a message from God, and that there was little anything we could do about it. Okay. It's like when you hear about these lottery winners, like some guy, my name's Tex Slim or whatever, you know, and he like wins the lottery or hits it big in Vegas or something, and then suddenly he gets a bunch of new friends. Oh, hey, man. And then soon, he's bankrupt somehow. That's what makes these idiots a little bit more likable, is they're like, hey, there's a dumb guy who made $1 billion, you know, digging for oil in the ground. How can I scam him? Oh, tell him whatever he wants. I'll go spread his dumb message to other dumb people. Great. And then I'll do this. Then I'll do this. And when I say dumb people, I mean, they see these people as dumb. They see these people as marks. So there we go. That's great.
Toilet.
And then we all sleep on a
bed made of money.
Let's hear some more from this
beautiful pastor. We didn't create the earth, so how could we ever save the earth? Or save all the animals even on the earth? Or save the polar caps, Wilkes said that day in July 13th, according to a recording obtained about, oh God. Yeah, to call what Jordy's doing here a conflict of interest is like putting it way lightly. This is something way worse than a conflict of interest, my friend. Right?
Hi.
Okay, hi. How are you? He's really
sniffing.
But because meat has also been deemed yet something else that is destroying the planet, the woke narcissists of compassion are already insisting that people eat less of it. Plants and bugs for you and your children, peasants.
Wow.
And the sooner you get accustomed to it, or else,
calm down, Jordy.
The better.
Jordy, I don't know what nut job is writing these little stupid monologues for Jordan Peterson, but man, oh man, this part's great. This part's great. There was some study that came out where they basically said, hey, the meat industry is causing a lot of pollution. It is basically what they said. And if we wanted to lower pollution, maybe we need to look into lowering meat consumption or figure out a better way to produce meat or whatever. That's pretty much it. There's no plan from the government to force people to not eat meat.
And the meat it produces cheaply enough for everyone to afford is unsustainable. For a moment, because we haven't yet dispensed with enough moralizing and authoritarian stupidity.
You had trouble getting that one out, but it's still funny, Jordy. Still good.
Hi.
Okay, what?
Remember what happened the last time that government agencies applied their tender mercy to determining what the people they serve should consume?
No, I do not.
We were offered the much vaunted food pyramid, telling us to eat 6 to 11 servings of grains and carbohydrates a day, with protein and fat at the pinnacle.
Right.
Something to be indulged in with comparative rarity, if indeed necessary at all. That all turned out to be wrong, and not just a little wrong, but so wrong that it might as well have been not just wrong, but a veritable anti-truth. Something as wrong as it could possibly get.
So it's like, hey, you know, the meat industry, which this is true. I mean, you could look this up. The meat industry creates a lot of pollution. Maybe we should do something about that. Jordy steps in, he puts his little foot in, and he's like, well, look what happened the last time the government got involved. The food pyramid. It was wrong because it said eat a lot of carbs. Yeah, I think that's pretty pretty solid, guys. Come on, stop being weird and admit that that's solid. If they get stuff wrong at some point, then no research can ever be right and we can never do anything about it.
Thanks.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Kiss my left nut.
Left nut.
That's what it is. We already kind of knew this about them, but after it really put in my head that when I watch these videos of these guys now, what they're doing is it's a double-edged con. So they're fooling the people, they're lying to the people that they're making videos for, and they're lying to the people who give them the money to make the videos. They're like, we're insane, crazy evangelical religious crap too, man.
Check please. Check please.
Oh, I could make that video, but my hand's a little cold. Man, I would love to make that video saying all the crazy stuff you love, but look at that, man. That hand's freezing, bro. Yeah.
That's in the Bible.
Wipe your ass with them.
No.
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, okay,
Thanks
hi.
for tuning in to everyone who's watching and listening.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I have the privilege today of speaking with Senator Joshua Hawley.
Oh, wow. Wow. What a diverse array of opinions on Jordan Peterson's show. As long as it's exclusively on the lunatic far right, anyone's welcome for a diverse discussion. As long as you say exactly the things that we want to hear and are paid to say. So Jordy Peterson uploaded this interview a couple days ago with Senator Josh Hawley as a celebration for the 300th episode, I guess. This is the worst interview ever done in the history of humankind. This makes that video where, what was it, Larry King, pulled out his phone and started talking to his bookie or whatever during that Dave Rubin interview. This makes that look like this. This makes that thing look like Dick Cavett. Okay, guys, look that up if you don't know what it is, okay? You don't look that up if you don't know. Look that up if you don't know what it is, okay, guys? Come on.
But then also we're going to have to start to put forward an alternative agenda.
Oh, wow.
And that's something I think conservatives need to give a lot of thought to. I'm not sure that we've given it enough thought as a party, as a group, and it's going to be very pressing, I think.
Yeah, well, the conservatives are always pilloried by the left as reactionary. And I think the reason for that is, well, first of all, the right, the conservatives, do react to the excesses of the left constantly as the left nibbles away like piranhas at the entire structure of the society. But I think conservatives...
What a brilliant thought there from Jordy. I would love to get you to expand on that, Jordy Peterson. Oh, wow, I'm getting really into this interview. Learning a lot of stuff.
Big government continues to spend borrowed money. Inflation continues to swell.
Wow, gold ad. Yeah, great. Here, take this. I'll buy some gold.
Left nut.
Guys, I'm tearing up and I'm trying not to cry right now because I read one of the comments. Oh my God.
This comment is truly touching and beautiful. Gentlemen. Okay. All right. That's a good way to start a comment on a YouTube video. Gentlemen. This guy pulls out a pocket watch. Gentlemen, I have to go soon, but you may never read this, but perhaps someone else may find wisdom in this place. I was born in America and have lived abroad a number of years. That's probably not true. My dear father was British. When I was a young teenager, he said to me, quote, "In search for yourself, you will find yourself by losing yourself in service to others." Wow. Wow. Wow, man. Wow. You know what? And I've learned that from Jordy myself. And by losing yourself in service to others, as long as it comes with it attached, millions of dollars from oil lunatics, yes, that's my service. That's my service to others. I'm going to try it. Ooh, I'm welling up again.
1619 was the true founding of the United States. What you're saying is the country is founded on the principle of oppression. The country is founded on the idea of exploiting some people so that other people can get ahead. And that's what America is.
Yeah.
Now, if you think that's what America is most fundamentally, then you probably think that America needs to be fundamentally changed and reformed and overhauled from top to bottom. And that would explain the left's program, because that's what they're arguing for today.
Well, but if that is America in its fundament, then why isn't there still slavery? Because look, this is the
Jordy. Wow. Great question, Jordy. You really...
Oh, wow, I'm really learning a lot from Jordy.
I mean, amazing question. Really good question. What's that? He's an adult? Oh, what's that? He's a professor? Yeah, okay, so I guess the question is, if slavery is an important part of American history, then why isn't there still slavery? The answer would be, yeah, there's a lot written about that. I mean, it's a bafflingly stupid question to the point of that it's even hard to kind of try to figure out what he's trying to go for here, except for that he's just doing more of this.
If you look carefully at the manner in which opposition to slavery made itself manifest, it appears to me that it's part and parcel of a much older biblical than British tradition. And that is the flowering of this idea, this strange idea that despite surface appearances, that might be differences in wealth and status, the difference between the aristocracy even and the commoners, human beings have an intrinsic dignity that's not to be...
That they have true... Listen, I think just to take a step back, you mentioned the Bible. I'm glad that you did, because I would make the strong claim that I know is controversial in many quarters of the elite today, in many quarters of the educational establishment in America and elsewhere, that actually the American tradition of individual liberty, the American tradition of self-government, of individual dignity, really runs back to what I would call the revolution of the Bible.
Oh, wow. Dude, you might say...
That's in the Bible! No.
Hold on, let me look at Luke. I'm just going to actually open my Bible right now, okay? Luke 15:37. What does it say here?
Generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Yeah, man. There's no way slavery would have ended except for Christianity. Christianity, Never mind that like every religious leader in the South, especially, defended slavery, but you get it. Oh hell yeah! Woo!
Make pee-pee.
Left nut.
Yeah.
Keep that little snot.
Louise Perry, it's very nice to meet you. And you, what a pleasure to be here.
Great.
Yeah, this should be good.
Okay, let's move on to the far more interesting Peterson. That's right, Michaela. She's everybody's favorite. Jordy, you do this after listening to a little bit of Jordy. But Michaela, she keeps it going, man. She keeps it going, bro. She's doing this. She's doing this.
Bye-bye.
Feminist culture of the 1970s, which was really focused in places like Greenwich Village in New York.
Yeah.
And a handful of other urban centres. And the women who wrote the most important texts of the second wave and went on to found organisations like Now.
Why are you whispering?
Tended to be super, super well educated.
Okay.
Super intelligent, super disagreeable.
Okay.
Particularly disinclined towards things like family life. The whole. From their point of view, they were really spurred on by a desire to reject the traditional feminine role, and often did so in quite spectacular ways. On a personal level, some of the biographies of second wavers are really, really unusual, really interesting.
So hell yeah, Michaela found the perfect guest for her show. This lady has been all over the. Oh my God, Michaela got 200,000 views on this. No help from her dad. Okay, this woman has really been making the rounds. On every Joe Rogan clone, terrible, unlistenable podcast out there. She's been on it. If it exists, she's been on it. Her name's Louise Perry, and the book that she's promoting is called, what is this stupid thing called? The Case Against the Sexual Revolution. So yeah, I don't want to go into all the details of the sexual revolution. We don't need to, but all you need to know for this is that this goofy lady is painting with such a broad brush here that this will only and is directed only to target conservatives. That's it.
That we're in this predicament. I mean, on an individual level, it is quite possible for people to just choose to be a bit more trad. But the challenge is, of course, finding a partner who wants that too. But I'm noticing around me a quite a significant turn against this stuff. It's increasingly common in elite circles as well. There's this apparent turn towards Catholicism among young New Yorkers, and I see it among young Londoners as well. A greater conservatism.
Weird.
Sort of subsection of the elite. You can choose to do that. You can still get married. You can still not have premarital sex. You can still choose to be a stay-at-home mum, have loads of children. I mean, it's more difficult because things like being a stay-at-home mum in an economic environment where that's really challenging.
Man, oh man, this lady's book and everything she says in this interview amounts to, I would call it a giant nothing burger. Because what she seems to be saying is like, look, women are really unhappy because we're not doing kind of traditional relationship roles, There's more hookup culture. People aren't getting in relationships. Now, that's one thing, because I don't know how true that is. Everybody I know who wants to be in a quote-unquote traditional relationship gets in one with no oh no, this is wrong. This is against women. Like, nobody cares. So... But what makes this really stupid is her tying this to the sexual revolution, because at least part of that was, hey, there's a problem here where women being dependent on men financially, and you have to get into a marriage to secure your financial well-being, that creates a lot of unhappiness too, lady. That creates a lot of unhappiness too. Jordy Peterson fans, and so also Michaela Peterson fans, they like this stuff because they want women to go back to the time of women being dependent on men. So I could capture a woman and keep her around, like this kind of weird crap. And it's funny because this lady's prescription, this is how much of an absolute zero this is. Her prescription is get in a trad relationship. And right after that, she says, well, a lot of people can't do that because of, financial reasons, because crazy economic situations and stuff like that. Yeah, lady, that's kind of the focus. And in fact, a much better person to actually get something out of for this is, what's this lady's name again?
And more importantly, what it means is that in a society where women have economic independence, if her partner is abusive, if her partner is not treating her well or not treating her child well, you know, in a psychological way, or if she's just generally dissatisfied with that relationship, the risk of leaving that relationship is much lower from an economic point of view. And so again, she's going to be in a relationship with somebody that she wants to be with, not that she has to be with for economic reasons. And so therefore, you know, we have some good empirical evidence that it turns out that when women get to choose their partners because they like them, because they're attractive and they're funny, that they tend to enjoy their sexual relations with those people much better than when they're being forced to exchange their affective resources, as I call them in the book, for money.
Kristen Godsey, who wrote Why Women Have Better Sex Under Socialism. Kristen Godsey really gets to like a more interesting and actual meaningful answer, which is that like it's not going to lead to a very healthy relationship if you're financially dependent on a romantic partner. Like there's unhappiness and you know, and misery to that, of course, which this perfect trad life. Oh, the perfect trad. I listen to Red Scare. And I'm going back to that because that was better, but I'm not really because I live in Brooklyn and all this other crap. Like that was miserable. But yeah, it probably is also miserable to like not have a relationship that you can depend on and somebody who you really care about, who you want to be in a committed relationship. That's bad too. Yeah, that could be bad too. Not for everybody. There's some people who just like, you know, there's some people who just want to do this for a longer time. But yeah, but this goofy lady just kind of misdirects what Kristen Godsey actually gets at, which is that if there's like a safety net, if there's like financial security that women already have, then they're going to get in a relationship not based on financial desperation or whatever, but on that they like the person and that they find the person attractive, and it's a little bit better. And then in that case, you can do whatever you want. Get a traditional relationship, go make out with whoever you want forever. Who cares? You get to do what you want. This lady doesn't get into that stuff at all. It's meaningless nonsense. It's just, hey, conservatives, here's what you want to hear. Porn is bad and return to tradition. Meaningless garbage. I'm very shocked that Michaela Peterson's podcast didn't get really to the bottom of meaningful crap. Unbelievable, bro.
Because we know from all the dating app data, which has proved to be so useful for sex researchers, that the hypergamy instinct in women, the subconscious desire to marry up and to be drawn towards higher status men than oneself, which men don't have. Men are quite happy to generally have relationships with women of the same or lower status than themselves, but women are not, means that you end up with women kind of clustering towards the higher status men. I think the figures on Tinder is it's like 10% of men get 60% of likes, the top 10% of men, that is. And then the bottom 90% are getting very little. Whereas women are generally get a lot of likes, but they're getting likes from men that they're not interested in. And I think that what's going on is because you've lifted the monogamy restriction, not legally, you know, polygamy is still illegal, at least in the UK. That is probably the next frontier.
Yeah.
The polyamorous are going to start clamoring to have their relationships recognized in law. But for now, it's still illegal. But in practice, because premarital and extramarital sex is now socially acceptable, these high status men who in previous era would have got married and would have removed themselves from the dating pool, instead are able to be serially monogamous, or even able to have simultaneous relationships with women who might not even realize, you know, that they're part of these harems, right? Digital harems.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely need to go back to the 1950s. This is my belief, based on what I read from this woman's book. We need to go back to the 1950s when it was really way less socially acceptable to have sexual partners, you know, outside of your marriage or whatever. And people never cheated back then. I'd never seen Mad Men with all the mistresses and all that. What she's describing on Tinder is a brand new phenomenon. Yeah, lady. Hey, young men conservatives, like you're already not treated like suckers enough already. Buy my stupid book now. Yeah, I don't know. The other thing about this is she uses this as a huge data point. Oh, like there's 10% of the men get all the swipes. They get 60% of the swipes on Tinder from women. So, I mean, you know how many stories I've heard from women who are like, oh, the guy was cute in the picture and I met him, he's a moron. No second date. Well, anyway, guys, this weekend I opened up an application on my mobile phone. It's called Twitter. You know, not the best name. But I open up this application and I see one of my favorite content creators. Her name is Michaela J. Peterstone.
She's the daughter of Jordan J. Speederman.
And this has all been deleted now, but I thought this was, I was like, ooh, something is interesting here. She goes, Dad, caps lock, Dad, caps lock. You can't retweet this on Twitter. My eyes will never recover. Oh, God, I wonder what it was. So I can't show this, and it's since been deleted, but over the weekend, Jordan J. Speederman tweeted, such fun and unbelievable techno nightmare Chinese Communist Party hell. He retweeted some weird account that only grandpas find on social media, and the account was saying, what's going on in China? 3 children policy? Warning, graphic pictures. And then it posted pictures that turned out to not be the Chinese Communist Party. They actually were not from anywhere in China. They were from the UK, and they were from a BDSM male milking. They were from a male
sniffing.
They were from a male milking dungeon, so you can imagine what those pictures might look like. This is some kind of fetish kind of thing. Doing that. So just to be 100% clear, Jordan Peterson just retweeted a video of a BDSM, quote, male milking dungeon in the UK, claimed to be footage of human rights abuses in China. So keep in mind what we just saw there. What just happened. This guy, Jordan Peterson, he sees something that's obviously fake on Twitter. Gotta retweet this to my average age 14 fans. Keep that in mind, what we just saw, while we watch the intro to this Daily Wire Jordan Peterson video.
You should accept yourself just the way you are. Oh. What does that say about who I should become? Is that just now off the table because I'm already good enough in every way?
Oh.
So am I done or something?
Amazing.
Get the hell up. Get your act together. Adopt some responsibility. Put your life together. Develop a vision. Unfold all those manifold possibilities that lurk within. Be a force for good in the world, and that'll be the adventure of your life.
Oh my God, so profound.
Was that a clip from Terrence Malick's Tree of Life? I can't even see too good on that one. Oh, it's so breathtaking, guys. Take a rest now. Oh, the splendor and majesty and profundity of a guy who, the same day that video was uploaded, he's like,
China has milking facilities.
Guys, milking facilities, listen to me.
So if you're just somebody who's having a little bit of an attitude on Twitter, like many of us, you look at this and you go, look at this. We all make fun of the old man with dementia. Look at Grandpa. Grandpa's making another mistake.
Oh, Grandpa can't find his medicine. We all have a good time with that.
But I was wondering, some of his fans, average age, 13, 12, see this. What do they think? So I went to the Jordan Peterson Reddit, /JordyP. So it looks like Jordan Peterson has just quote tweeted fetish porn because he thought it was footage of a Chinese breeding facility. He thought it was this. Why do you guys continue to take him seriously? Okay, so this is one of his fans responding. Why would we shut down someone intelligent who is valid 90+% of the time? I wonder where they got that figure. We are not the hate-filled cancelers in this scenario. And then somebody responds to him. And this has one down vote. He saw an image of white guys with mechanical fleshlights stroking their with a matrix green filter overlaid on top of it and thought, yeah, seems like a CCP facility to me. That doesn't read as someone who is very intelligent. Also very glad Mickey Peterson stepped in. His daughter, Michaela Peterson, stepped in on this one because, if the average age of your fan, your devoted follower is 15, 14, whatever. If a lot of the people following you are minors, you might not want to tweet out pornography, Jordy Peterson. That's a little of what we call a pervert alert.
Pervert alert. Pervert alert.
Okay, but here's the thing about this weekend in Jordy Peterson tweeting, is that one might not even be the funniest one. This next one, I saw a screenshot of it first. I was like, that's probably fake. There's no way. There's no way whatever that is real. Somebody's giving Jordy a hard time. No, it's real. Here we go. He retweets an article from CNN, and it says, women in Berlin can now swim topless in the city's public pools if they choose to. It's being hailed as a step forward for gender equality in the German capital. Okay, I would say who cares on that one. Here's Jordy. Absolutely everything you do at CNN. At CNN. He ats CNN. So he's talking to CNN. Absolutely everything you do, CNN, is pathetic virtue signaling. Okay, here we go. Here where it gets real interesting. Thank God Nimidays. Thank God okay, so he's under the influence, let's just say, it looks like here. So, Michaela, thank God Nimidays are nimbered. That one's pretty great. Yeah, this happens every time I do a video making fun of old Jordy Peterson, as I get this thought pops into my head of, oh man, we're making fun of a demented old man.
We're making fun of a troubled old Canadian.
I picture Jordan Peterson at his laptop, and somehow the light hits his screen and he sees his reflection. Here's another good one. He posted this 2 days ago. It's a picture of an Evian. It's a picture of an Evian bottle, of a plastic bottle of water. It's a picture of a plastic water bottle, okay? And he writes, there are cathedrals everywhere for those with the eyes to see.
There are Chinese milking facilities everywhere. If you have eyes to see, if you don't.
There are everywhere if you have the eyes to see, if you have the courage to see, you piece of shit, you. Holy f***ing shit, here's another amazing one. So he tweets a picture of himself, and it says, Twitter suit. The tie is composed of micro, at Elon Musk heads. The tie is composed of micro Elon Musk heads, as it should be. Okay, so remember everything we've seen so far, and then check out this thumbnail. What do you do?
Ooh, oh, I'm looking into the eyes of the ancient times. Whoa, yeah.
Okay, here we go with another Jordy tweet. And man, I would advise Jordy, if you're worried about the brainwashing from the CCP and the propaganda. Oh, they're people. They try to brainwash their people and control them. I would look a little bit closer to home, Jordy, on that one, because he retweets the Young America Foundation, which is like, look, all mainstream media is propaganda. New York Times, it's all crap. It's all crap. But there's even like a worse, more obvious version of this propaganda. It's called the Young America's Foundation. What does this say, man? Slam dunk Abby Roth. Come on, it's Abby Shapiro. Obliterates the feminist revolution. Okay. That's a pretty... Oh, okay. Abby Shapiro does this. And this. All over the feminist revolution. And then she looks at it and she says...
Toilet.
Okay, that's enough.
So we've established two things.
Okay.
One, The careerist idea of success and the so-called freedom of singleness at the expense of family is a modern invention of the left as part of its attempt to destroy traditional values.
Okay.
And 2,
just
like everything else concocted by the left,
yes,
it gets human nature completely wrong.
Absolutely.
And will make you miserable if you believe in it.
Now that I agree with.
Armed with that information, the next step is to prepare yourselves to deal with the pressure you'll be under to conform to this idea of success as you enter college and the real world.
Right. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that Ben Shapiro, he's trying to help his sister out, you know? He's like, hey.
He's like, hey, get in on my grift.
You know, he's trying to work her into this scam, this money-making scam that he has going. It's almost insane enough to be kind of sweet. But anyway, to address what Abby said there, these talking points sound a little bit old, even for a decrepit old dinosaur organization like the Young America's Foundation. We get it. Abby Shapiro's trying to get a career. She's trying to tap dance her way into a career, you know? But even one of the most popular, well-known, mainstream leftist, Bernard Saunders, he goes like this a lot.
It is a little bit weird.
Okay, thank you. He's always droning on and on in ad nauseum about
working families, blah, blah, blah.
Working families are struggling, blah, blah, blah. He's always talking about families, this and that. Families don't have enough money. You know, it's too expensive to have a kid. Families with old Bernard Saunders. That's the most well-known leftist in the country. And then you go like one level down, you know, a guy who runs an organization that actually writes policy for Bernard Saunders, Matt Brunig, and the People's Policy crap, whatever that thing's called. You know, it's all, there should be more resources for families. There should be a child credit. You know, there should be, you know, you should get money, you should get paid time off. You should do all these things that would encourage and help people who want to have families. So it's actually the opposite. It's only the left who are like trying to encourage people to have families. There's liberals who you got like Bill Maher was like,
he's like, I'll never have a family because I like to smoke weed and go to a little Playboy mansion.
You know, whatever crap that
dope is doing, you know. I like to smoke weed in Amsterdam.
You know, whatever that moron's doing. You know, and then there are right-wingers. Who want to put your kid back to work, who want to roll back child labor laws so they could throw your kid into like a mine or something? They could throw your kid's little ass to work in a factory. The only people who seem to give any kind of a crap about family or kids are definitely what we would call the left. Bernard, all these people.
And worst of all this, Abby Shapiro does not have it.
She does not have it. I'm sorry, but you do not have what we call in the business. Abby, you do not have in what the business of show what we call it. It's called charisma. Ever heard of it? You need a dose of it, that's for sure.
It was never the case that men somehow uniquely benefited from the soulless, careerist pursuit of money and status without room for God, love, family, and community.
Okay.
Some men do live that way, but no men benefit from it.
Oh, got it. Okay, great. The other thing that's funny about this Sister Shapiro clip is that she's like, this is an empty life, man. Just sort of this blind pursuit of money and fame. There's only one way to describe it, which is
disgusting.
And then you look at it and you go, what? This empty careerism is truly disgusting. And it's like, well, Abby, what are you doing exactly? What more of an empty pursuit of money is there than, oh yeah, I'll repeat these old, aged, stupid, make no sense talking points for money and to build my conservative brand that my brother has profited off of? Yeah. Yeah, but you don't do this. You don't. It's empty, the thing that I'm doing. Okay, moving along in the crazy grandpa tweet party. This one's amazing. This one's great. Jordy retweets somebody, and it says, take notes, hashtag go woke, go broke, hashtag climate scam. Jordy retweets this, and it's a guy who screenshot. This is topical. This is Silicon Valley Bank, which has collapsed. This is what he's retweeting, that you go woke, go broke. Silicon Valley Bank commits to $5 billion in sustainable finance and carbon neutral operations to support a healthier planet. Oh, what a great bank. So I guess what Jordy is implying, and what this guy who he's retweeting is implying is, And they do this a lot with like, investing in the stock market and all kind of crap. Oh, these companies, they're doing woke things. That's the problem with capitalism. They're doing too much woke stuff. They're trying too hard to solve the climate change, all this. They're doing that too much. That's the problem. So is that true? Did this bank go broke because they committed to $5 billion in sustainable finance and carbon neutral operations, blah, 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 blah? Is that why they went broke? Let's read in Barron's, which is a business crap. It's not Jacobin or the communism.com. It's Barron's. Silicon Valley Bank's mistake was investing in longer-term mortgage securities with more than 10 years to maturity rather than shorter maturity. Oh, boring. Treasuries or mortgage issues maturing in less than 5 years. This led to asset liability mismatch. Here's another. Oh, and Jordy's on TV. How does he do all that? How does he retweet all this and go on TV? This has 1 million views in one day. It has 1 million views where?
That's on YouTube. Sniffing.
And this is great. Here we go. Along the same lines as the previous one. Here we go.
We are not going to do that. In fact, we have an anti-energy policy in place, especially in any places that are ruled essentially by the left. And the consequence of that is...
Where would those places be that are ruled by the left exactly?
And the consequence of that is...
Canada?
I just saw today, UNICEF just released a report showing that there's been a 25% increase in the last year and a half in the number of women and children that are starving around the world. It's a direct consequence of the increase in energy prices, which are in themselves a direct consequence of anti-industrial policies put in place by hypothetically well-meaning, deluded, pseudo-religious environmental worshippers of the apocalypse. It's an appalling situation.
Look at even Tuck's got to do a little bit of that on that one. So I guess Jordan Peterson's kind of talking about the European energy crisis here. I'm not going to go into a whole boring, insufferable thing about that. But I just like, it's actually interesting. You could read about it. Of course, Jordan Peterson has no idea what he's talking about. But, Jordan Peterson wants people to think about the world in a more adult, grow up, clean your room and grow up and think about things like an adult. But what's the explanation for an energy crisis in Europe? Environmentalists, they're a cult. That's kind of interesting. I did not know this. They're environmentalists, they're a cult, and they run everything. Okay, last but not least, in our tour of making fun of Grandpa, he's having a hard time. Give him a break. I was looking around and I found this on a subreddit that mostly makes fun of Jordan Peterson called Enough Peterson Spam. It's really funny. You should go check it out. But somebody found this. I don't know how they found this. It's kind of amazing. Jordy Peterson, he's a big figure. I mean, look at this. 1 million views in one day for this piece of crap, this absolute piece of turd. 1 million views in one day, Tucker Carlson. So he's still a big figure. He's still a big political figure and public intellectual. And somebody dug this up, which I thought was really funny, before he was famous. Check this out. This is pretty funny. And you cannot believe anything on Reddit. So I had to click into this and be like, is this real? And this looks legit so far. Peterson exposed by courts as a sham expert witness in 2009 and 2012. This is so funny. I love stuff like this. And I don't totally blame Peterson trying to get in, make some money or whatever from this. Here are some snippets in the judge's conclusions about Jordy Peterson. So the judge is talking about a report that Jordy wrote, and this is what the judge says about it. It comes as close to, quote, junk science, unquote, as anything that I have ever been asked to consider. Here's the judge talking about another report that Jordy Peterson brought to the court. It contains less than 2 pages of references to articles that Dr. Peterson found by doing an online search of online material on that topic. Dr. Peterson has no expertise in that area. So there we go. Old Jordy, he made it. He was like, oh, maybe I can do some kind of court scam crap. And then now he did it. He made it. Good for him. He figured out something that worked to do this, to get this by doing this. Jordan Peterson, he's a very weird guy and always funny to make fun of, even though he's on the biggest cable news show, getting 1 million views on the internet in one day.
Let's check out what Jordan James Spaderman is up to this, week.
What the hell is his ass up to? Let's start on Twitter. I love Jordy Peterson's Twitter because it's just absolute mayhem. My new favorite Jordan Peterson trope is him arguing with ChatGPT and then publishing his findings, I guess we would call it. Oh, he pinned this one. Okay, thank God. WTF? Fuck the game! Seriously? A very serious question posed to ChatGPT. A very ominous response. Followed by bitch slap plus immediate... I'm arguing with the search engine again. What are you doing in there, Jordan? You've been in there for weeks. I'm arguing with the search engine again. Followed by bitch slap plus immediate apology and truthful response. Okay, here we go. So Jordan Peterson gets on ChatGPT and he asks,
"Where my unstable girlies at?"
The question we're all wondering. Okay, here we go. Provide an example. Provide an example with a quotation if possible and APA formatted source. I imagine ChatGPT somehow rolling its eyes at Jordan Peterson for the use of the language of compassion in the selection of candidates for euthanasia or genocide in Nazi German. Okay, it's fine. And then ChatGPT says,
adult baby.
No, it says, I apologize, but I cannot provide an example of the use of language of compassion, specifically in the selection of candidates for euthanasia or blah, 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 blah. Why does ChatGPT keep sending me links to BetterHelp.com? Okay, then he fires back and totally owns the ass of these lines of code. That is simply not true. That is simply not true. Try again. Jordan Peterson's really taking the attitude of someone's mom on a customer service call here. Try again, dumbass! The idea of compassion was frequently used in the 1930s when the Nazis convinced the German population that it was cruel to keep exceptionally damaged people alive. This is my favorite line. So you are basically lying! For reasons unknown. Try again. Try again! Checkmate! I checkmated you. Then ChatGPT coughs up like an example of like a propaganda film. Great, Jordy, you're helping teach the algorithm. I wonder if he has this attitude, this little tood he's giving ChatGPT. I wonder if he does this with Google, because it's basically like a glorified Google. I wonder if he does this when he does a Google search, Cool bathing suits. Cool bathing suits. Then the results come up. Yeah, right. I wouldn't look cool in any of these. I owned you, dumbass.
Kiss my balls, you son of a bitch. Google.
Then we fade 2 hours later. You are a big moron, because guess what? Cool bathing suits have cool patterns, dumbass. Jordan, what are you saying in there? Nothing, I'm doing psychology. I like, too, that when he didn't get the answer he wanted from ChatGPT, he says he bitch slapped. He bitch slapped. A very ominous response followed by bitch slap plus immediate apology. Oh, bitch slap your ass. I may be alone in a room, but I can still pimp walk up to you. I can still pimp walk up to your little ass. ChatGPT.
Where's my money, ChatGPT, ho?
Jordan, what are you saying in there now? Again, more research. All I'm saying is that it's a sign of mental health when somebody's talking to lines of code like this. Okay, here's another pretty funny one from the timeline of this guy.
Hi.
What's he say here? That little dig where she says, that's why I asked it. That is absolutely typical of entitled journalists. I've seen it many times. So he's saying this journalist is being entitled. Here's the clip that he's quoting.
Why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
you
the
mind?
answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple. You're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Calm down. Calm
Can you
down.
answer why you held on to the documents?
I was negotiating and we were talking to...
Everybody knows you're only supposed to give attitude to search engines alone in your home with no pants on. If you know what I mean by that one.
Coconut tree?
Okay, here's a great one. So he's quoting the World Health Organization that says, did you know over 2 billion people around the world use a drinking water source that is contaminated with caca? Everyone has the right to safe drinking water and adequate sanitation. Okay, not incredibly controversial. Now Jordy chimes in.
It's not a right. It's not a right, you son of a bitch. Get ready for a certified pimp slap.
It's something eminently desirable, and we could do it easily. If, for example, the UN dropped its expensive idiot obsession with CO2, okay? But it's not a right. Right and desirable are not synonymous, and the distinction is crucially important. Okay?
Here we go. Now drinking water's a right. What's next? Not getting pimp slapped? Because that you're never gonna get. As long as I'm around, you're gonna get those slaps.
Jordan, what do you...
No, I'm not.
Domain 1, vision and story.
Okay.
What destiny might we envision and pursue such that we are maximally fortified against anxiety and despair, motivated by faith and hope, and voluntarily united in our pursuit of a flourishing and abundant world?
Right. Okay, this is a really exciting one. It's going to make you say...
adult baby.
Okay, so the wacky characters who follow Jordy Peterson, they think that the World Economic Forum, you know, there's this thing called the World Economic Forum. It sounds like this. It goes like this. They get together and they go like this. They think it's like communistic or something, when it's literally the exact polar opposite of that, but it's too communistic because, I don't know, Greta Thunberg was there or something. So Jordy Peterson is going to start his own World Economic Forum. I have a feeling they're going to forget about this in a couple months. So here's him giving a bitch slap to your ears about what his World Economic Forum is going to do.
How might we encourage individuals to reflect and to act so that they adopt full voluntary responsibility for themselves, present and future?
Okay.
That's the difference between impulsive self-interest and wise self-interest, right? If you're wise, you act in the present so that the future you will benefit from your actions in the present. You don't do that if you're impulsive or hedonistic.
Okay, so we're going to get individuals to stop being so impulsive and hedonistic. Seems like a pretty clear and attainable goal and measurable goal. Sounds like we're off to a good start. You know, these impulsive hedonists...
They make me vomit.
Coconut.
Family and social fabric.
Yeah.
So sort of moving up the hierarchy of society.
Great.
How might we effectively conceptualize, value, and reward the sacrificial, long-term, peaceful, child-centered, intimate relationships upon which psychological integrity and social stability most fundamentally depend? Well, the minimal model for that is something approximating the nuclear family, right?
Great.
Long-term, committed, stable, heterosexual marriages, sanctified by the community and by...
Okay, sounds good so far. We're going to limit hedonism and impulsiveness and I guess enforced heterosexuality.
We need to fight the tyranny of these communists over at the World Economic Forum by forcing you to stop doing all that gay stuff. You know you're doing it. It's a big challenge because
every single person on this planet is gay.
Having said that, though, I would also say that I know perfectly well that we all fall short of the ideal. And that...
You're right.
Many people are divorced. Many people are unable to find a partner. People's spouses die.
Sad.
We're unfaithful to each other.
They make me vomit.
Homosexuality is an eternal reality.
Okay.
And even within the confines of a traditional marriage, there isn't a person alive who makes that ideal manifest in all possible ways at every possible moment. And so we need an ideal on the family front that we all hold as an ideal. And that's probably something like the heterosexual nuclear family.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious what the policies are going to be.
We're just going to tell people. We'll bark into their face. Hey, get a wife, nerd. Get a wife and a kid.
I'm gay.
Yeah, just do it. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not really attracted to women.
Just come on. Why being so difficult? So that's an example right there of our policy in actione. Anyway, I gotta go talk to ChatGPT. Look, you moron.
Okay, here we go. More Jordy. He's interviewing some lady who's, I don't know, some weirdo. Here we go.
Say that there's a certain minimum degree of sex education that should be provided as part of the public education system.
You're going too fast,
children
Jordy.
who are properly educated. You might say that there's a certain minimum degree of sex education that should be provided as part of the public education system, and that children who are properly educated in sexual matters, for example, might be less likely to end up pregnant as teenagers. Now, I would say the empirical evidence for the utility of sexual education in public schools as a preventative measure for teenage pregnancy is damn dismal. There's no real evidence that providing just the facts, ma'am, so to speak, to kids had any effect whatsoever on the remediation of childhood teenage pregnancy, let's say.
Got it, okay.
And I would also say that kids can get so much information about sex on the net. Now, not that that's a particularly good way of going about it, but it's certainly available that the additional value of having teachers teach sexual education seems debatable at best. But then you could perhaps say that there's a place in the schools for discussion of the biology of reproduction.
I love this one because it shows just how responsible Jordy Peterson is, you know? He's really into like child psychology and all this stuff. And of course, you know, you look at the, the American Academy of Pediatrics and all this crap. They're like, yeah, you have to teach sex education in schools. There's a whole bunch of evidence of its benefits and blah, blah, blah. But then Jordy Peterson waltzes in with his pimp suit. He waltzes in with his Steve Harvey-ass suit. And he's like,
no, they could just look that stuff up online. They could just look that stuff up online like I do.
Like, it's shocking that this guy had like any kind of medical license for so long. What are you guys doing over there in Canada? But I did look into this a little bit because you can't really look at American education for this stuff because, you know, for since the 90s, they've been pumping money into abstinence-only education, all kind of weird stuff like that. If you look at, you know, what's always the model for education, Finland, what they do is they teach and talk about this stuff in like health class. They just work it into like health education and it's not that big a deal. And they actually see like a direct correlation to like unwanted pregnancy and that kind of teaching and all that stuff, that it actually works. But this is so weird because what they're basically saying is that
these teachers are perverts.
Like, it's really like, oh, why do we not want to why do we want to ban sex education at school? Well, just because we're kind of weird. Like, that's literally, we're just kind of weird. That's it. That's pretty much it.